We have some preliminary numbers in for the NPD. They might be slightly off. Not all of the segments are reported 100% yet. We will get that later today, along with software sales, and find out how Smash did in the US. But what is clear is that Nintendo Switch just had the best selling December of the quote-unquote current generation. I know it gets a little weird. You know, people consider Switch potentially next gen, even though it's competing in the current gen. I don't really know. All I know is, of the three major platform holders out there right now, Nintendo Switch had the best December of all three of them. Not just now, but period. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, neither one of those consoles have ever had a better December than what Nintendo Switch just put up, primarily thanks to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate this past December in 2018. The numbers sit at 1.77 million units. You know what this also means? This also ended up making Switch the best-selling system in the United States in 2018. Now, this is according to three particular people on ResetEra.com. I'll put a link to the thread that have been accurate in reporting NPD data in the past. So this is pretty amazing. If you wonder how that compares to the other systems, Xbox chimes in at 920,000 units, which is down from last December, and PlayStation 4 chimes in at 797,000 units. So obviously PlayStation 4 seeing a sharp decline, and you know, maybe it's been out on the market forever, so finally PlayStation 4 is slowing down. Who really knows? We'll see how sales do for PlayStation 4 here in 2019. The point is, for the entirety of 2018, Nintendo Switch was the best-selling platform in the United States and just set a record for this generation in terms of sales in December. Now, no, it's not necessarily a peak record overall. I think like we had one December where it actually moved over 3 million units, but again, we're really only in the second holiday season for the Switch. It's possible that things could get even better this upcoming December, depending on how the lineup shakes out. The bottom line is that Nintendo Switch did phenomenal. Now, we don't know the sales yet for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Again, we'll make a video on that later once we have more data and can go more in depth. But I have to say, this is really, really impressive. And I mean, to think about this, the PlayStation 4 is assuredly going to hit 100 million units, right? Like, it's almost a foregone conclusion. And the Switch just had a better December than PlayStation 4 has ever had. That's insane. Like, even imagining that right now is like insane to me, to think that like this system that is easily going to cross 100 million units, Switch just like set a record for this generation over that system. That is insane to me. But yeah, 100, you know, 1,700,000. It's basically 1.8 million, but it's 1.77 million to be exact. But it's essentially 1.8 million. That's just awesome numbers. And I know, you know, not everyone cares about the sales data, but obviously Smash was the big mover that pushed it this month, and we'll get that data later. But this is just, I gotta say, it kind of makes me a little giddy to think about Nintendo selling, you know, almost 2 million units last month just in the U.S. Now, where does this put things on the grand scale of hitting that 10 to 11 million prediction that some analysts put out there for that fiscal quarter? I don't know, because that's like worldwide numbers, right? You know, some people might be a little disappointed. They thought maybe it would sell 2 or 3 million, and that means it can't hit 10 to or 11. Like, we don't know. We don't know what the worldwide numbers are. We do know now what numbers were in Japan. It was over 1 million in Japan for December. We know now in the United States it was close to 2 million. So, you know, 3 million came just from that in December. This isn't including November sales or, you know, October sales. So there's a lot of things to consider here on whether or not they hit 10 or 11 million over the past fiscal quarter. Again, remember, January 31st is when Nintendo gives us the official worldwide numbers, which are obviously the most important numbers over all these individual territory numbers, since there's certain territories where we just don't have any Switch to sales data for at all. We primarily have sales data for places like France, because they reported some sales data, UK, yeah, Japan, and the U.S. We really don't have sales data for much of anywhere else. So, again, we'll have to wait and see how things turn out here in, you know, 10 days or so. But until then, I am very, very stoked, and I have to say, I'm impressed. I honestly you know, I've said this before and I have to say this again. I was wrong about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate being a system seller. I did a lot of data examination when I talked about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate not being a system seller, and a lot of it was because Smash has traditionally not really moved the needle that much with systems, but I should have known better. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's just a different game. It's special. It's that ultimate version of Smash that people will buy a system to play. I mean, heck, it's getting literally a character from, you know, Joker from Persona. I mean, it's crazy to think what this game is doing. I'm an idiot sometimes. I get things wrong, and it's okay. I'm happy that it's setting records and it's helping the Nintendo Switch set records for the generation. And I mean, just imagining that, like, think about this. 2018 is widely considered a pretty lackluster year for Switch, right? PlayStation 4 had some heavy hitters. You know, people think specifically of things like, you know, God of War and Spider-Man. But, you know, they also had all the third-party support. Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably a big mover. And it's Switch that outsold all of it. Hey, I mean, technically, should we not expect that? I guess, you know, PlayStation 4 in its like 5th year, 6th year on the market. You know, you have Switch only in its 2nd year. So I guess you could see how, like, obviously they're kind of like, you know, Switch is going up and PlayStation 4 is going down, and it just kind of hit that crossing point. But man, I did not expect Switch to outsell PlayStation 4 in the United States. It was really close, by the way. It wasn't like it crushed PlayStation 4, but the numbers are really, really close, and it took this absolute crushing in December for Switch to come ahead. So crazy stuff. You guys let me know what you think about these sales down in the comments below. Are you surprised? Is this below what you expected? What do you think this means for their overall prospects for this past fiscal quarter, or for hitting 20 million overall for the year? I'm very curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this, your guys' analysis. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to enter our Nintendo Switch Super Smash Bros. Ultimate bundle down in the description through the Gleam.io link. Absolutely free to enter. All that matters is that you subscribe to the channel. It's the only requirement. So hit that subscribe button, why don't you? Like the video if you like it. Let me know your thoughts on these sales, and I'll catch all of you guys in the next one.